Over the past several weeks, I have been researching transportation, mobility, and pedestrian safety challenges in North Georgia, with a particular focus on Alpharetta, Georgia. Alpharetta has experienced tremendous growth over the past decade. Areas such as Avalon, downtown Alpharetta, Windward Parkway, Old Milton Parkway, and Highway 9 have become major centers for business, entertainment, and residential development. This growth has created economic opportunities and improved quality of life for many residents. However, rapid growth often creates new challenges. More people means more vehicles on the road, more pedestrians using sidewalks and crossings, and more demand on existing transportation infrastructure. As I begin my research, I became interested in understanding whether current transportation systems are keeping pace with Alpharetta's growth. Rather than focusing on solutions, this presentation focuses on understanding the problem itself through research, data, industry reports, and case studies from around the world. My goal at this stage is to build a deep understanding of the issue and begin developing expertise in the problem before exploring any potential solutions later in this semester. Transportation affects nearly every aspect of daily life. Residents depend on safe and efficient roads to commute to work, access healthcare, visit businesses, and participate in community activities. Businesses depend on reliable transportation networks to attract customers and employees. Cities depend on mobility systems to support continued economic growth. As Alpharetta continues to grow, traffic congestion and pedestrian safety becomes increasingly important concerns. Research shows that growing suburban communities often experience increased traffic volume, longer commute times, and greater interaction between vehicles, pedestrians, and cyclists. These trends can create safety risks and reduce overall mobility if infrastructure improvements do not keep pace with development. Because Alpharetta is one of the fastest communities in Georgia, understanding these transportation challenges today may help identify opportunities for future improvement and planning. These issues affect residents, visitors, businesses, public safety agencies, and city leaders alike, making it an important challenge to investigate. One of the most important lessons from my research is that transportation challenges are rarely isolated problems. Instead, multiple issues are interconnected with one another. The first issue is traffic congestion. As population and economic activity increase, roads become more and heavily utilized, and delays become more common. The second issue is pedestrian safety. Increased foot traffic in commercial and entertainment districts means more interactions between vehicles and pedestrians. The third issue is distracted driving and driver awareness. National studies continue to identify distracted driving as a major contributor to roadway incidents. The fourth issue is walkability. Communities increasingly want transportation systems that support both vehicle traffic and pedestrian accessibility. Finally, population growth places additional pressure on existing infrastructure and city resources. Together, these issues create a broader transportation and mobility challenge that deserves further investigation. Because this course focuses on the Internet of Things, I also researched how IoT technologies are being used in communities around the world. The Internet of Things, or IoT, refers to networks of connected devices that collect, share, and analyze data in real time. Examples include sensors, cameras, connected traffic systems, environmental monitors, and smart infrastructure. Many cities are exploring IoT technologies as part of large smart city initiatives. A smart city uses technology and data to improve services, infrastructure, sustainability, and quality of life. In transportation specifically, IoT technologies are often used to collect information about traffic patterns, pedestrian movement, congestion levels, public transit usage, and roadway conditions. At this stage, I am not researching solutions, instead, studying how cities and data are connected infrastructure to use better understanding of transportation challenges and make informed decisions. This connection between IoT and transportation is a major theme throughout my research. To better understand this topic, I reviewed 12 highly credible resources, including peer-reviewed journal articles, government publications, transportation studies, and smart city research reports. The first major theme that emerged was traffic congestion. Multiple studies found that growing urban and suburban communities are increasingly using real time data and traffic monitoring systems to understand congestion patterns and improve transportation planning. The second major theme was pedestrian safety. Researchers consistently found that pedestrian safety remains a significant concern, especially in areas experiencing rapid development and increased foot traffic. Studies highlighted the importance of understanding where pedestrian activity occurs and how transportation systems accommodate those users. The third major theme involved smart cities and connected infrastructure. Many cities are investigating technologies that provide better visibility into transportation systems through data collection and analysis. Researchers argue that connected infrastructure can help cities understand problems more effectively and allocate resources more strategically. Another important finding was the growing role of data driven decision making. Transportation planning is increasingly influenced by data collected from sensors, traffic monitoring systems, and mobility studies. Cities are relying on measurable evidence rather than assumptions when making infrastructure decisions. Across all 12 sources, a common theme emerged. Understanding transportation challenges requires continuous collection and analysis of reliable data. This reinforces the importance of research before moving towards any specific solutions. One important requirement of this milestone is identifying both dominant and alternative viewpoints. The dominant viewpoint within the literature is generally supportive of smart city technologies and data driven transportation planning. Many researchers argue that connected infrastructure provides valuable insights into traffic flow, pedestrian activity, and public safety. They believe better data can help communities make more informed decisions. However, there are also alternative options that deserve consideration. Some researchers raise concerns about privacy and surveillance. As cities collect more data, questions emerge regarding how information is stored, protected, and used. Others point to cybersecurity risks associated with connected infrastructure. Cost is another concern. Smart cities projects often require significant investment, and some communities may struggle to justify those expenses. Finally, some researchers argue that technology alone cannot solve transportation challenges and that urban planning, policy decisions, and community engagement remain equally important. These competing perspectives demonstrate why careful research is necessary before making recommendations. To better understand the external environment surrounding this issue, I conducted a PESTEL analysis. Politically, transportation projects often depend on local government support, transportation funding, and grant opportunities. Economically, traffic congestion can reduce productivity, increase travel costs, and impact local businesses. Socially, population growth and changing transportation preferences are increasing demand for safer and accessible mobility options. Technologically, advances in IoT, artificial intelligence, sensors, and communication networks are creating new opportunities for transportation analysis. Environmentally, traffic congestion contributes to emissions and fuel consumption, making transportation an important sustainability issue. Legally, cities must consider privacy regulations, transportation policies, and public safety requirements when evaluating transportation initiatives. This analysis demonstrates that transportation challenges extend beyond roads and vehicles and involve broader economic, social, and policy considerations. Another part of my research involved examining transportation initiatives from other cities. In North America, cities such as Columbus, Austin, Chattanooga, and Atlanta have explored smart mobility and transportation modernization efforts. Internationally, cities such as Barcelona, Singapore, Copenhagen, and Amsterdam are frequently cited as leaders in smart city development. Although each city is different, several common themes emerged. Successful initiatives are typically supported by strong partnerships between government agencies, technology providers, and community stakeholders. They also emphasize data collection, long-term planning, public engagement, and measurable outcomes. Studying these examples provided valuable context for understanding how transportation challenges are being addressed in different regions around the world. As I continue my research, stakeholder engagement will become increasingly important. Key stakeholders including residents, commuters, pedestrians, cyclists, local businesses, visitors, transportation planners, and city leaders. To gather primary research, I plan to develop surveys and potentially conduct interviews with stakeholders who are directly affected by transportation and mobility issues. The goal is to collect first-hand perspectives regarding traffic congestion, pedestrian safety, transportation priorities, and community needs. In conclusion, my research indicates that transportation and pedestrian safety challenges are becoming increasingly important as communities such as Alpharetta continue to grow. The literature suggests that congestion, pedestrian safety, mobility, and infrastructure planning are closely connected issues. Research also shows that cities around the world are using technology and data to better understand transportation systems, although important questions remain regarding cost, privacy, and implementation.